Morning. I've just done this sketch of an impression of Headley Heath. It's very loosely based on a lovely Edward Weston oil painting. I've used it as a sort of a model, but then a lot of us use ideas from Edward Weston. If you don't know him, have a look on Google, and you'll find him. He lived not far from me. He was probably about 20 miles, 25 miles away. A place called near Guildford Cathedral. I've added figures, and I'm not going to copy. I've just done a version. This is my sort of model that I made up. It's just a clump of trees and balanced by a smaller clump of trees after a storm. It's left all the ground sodden, and I've added a couple of figures. Now, talking about figures, I'm not used to drawing. I went straight to the brush many years ago, and I draw just about enough to be able to position my paint, and I draw with the brush then. It was much easier with oil painting and acrylic, because you could keep changing ad infinitum until it goes right. But I was looking at a channel on YouTube yesterday. Now remember this name, if you've not come across him, Alfonso Dunn, D-U-N-N, is an American artist. And years ago, well not so long ago, 2-3 years ago, I bought this thing, this mannequin. And I don't really know what to do with it, what it's about. Oh, you can guess, but it looks a bit of a robot, and with articulated arms and legs and head. But Alfonso has got a video on YouTube explaining how you learn proportion from this. So I've been having a little practice of his videos just for the last 10 minutes or so. Hurts my hands drawing, because I have to hold the pencil on it. That's my wrist. But it's something like this. You draw a cylinder, slightly tapered, and you divide it into three. So you've got the trunk, which is 2 heads high or deep, and another head high for the pelvic region. The legs, the thighs, are 2 heads, and the shin down here, that's 2 heads and a head on the top of a neck of a short cylinder, all done in cylinders, and you can get your proportions right. And I've just done these figures, which are probably I wouldn't say they're good, but they're probably two of the best I've ever done, because as far as I can see, the proportions are just about right. I'm not quite sure about the pelvis here. Probably the legs start a bit higher, but I'm working on that. I've seen this video twice, and I'm going to watch it again and see how we go. But it's Alfonso, Alphonso, Dunn, D-U-N-N. I'd highly recommend it. It's a superb piece of instruction, beautifully illustrated by drawing the cylinders, and then you'll see what this thing actually does. All the shapes, and it might not be a good figure that you paint or draw, but if the proportions are right, it will look right. Well, that's the idea of it anyway. But I'm going to spend some time doing that every day, just a couple on some spare paper, just a couple of drawings to put this video into practice, and I hope it will improve my figures, and I hope it will improve yours. So I'll take the Cotman palette. Now, Neil Rock, he's a subscriber who's been asking questions. He doesn't speak very good English, so he has to ask questions that he doesn't understand. So for Neil, here's my palette for the Fabriano £130 wet in wet demonstrations. So we've got, I think this is an artist quality, this cadmium yellow, but these are all Winsor & Newton. So the cadmium yellow, raw sienna, alizarin crimson, light red, ultramarine, burnt umber, Payne's grey and burnt sienna, bit of green there if I need it. These ones are all Cotman, Winsor & Newton, student quality, but because I've been keeping them in a stay wet palette on this bed of wet tissue paper and putting the lid on, it's keeping the paints very, very moist, which means that they're almost tube consistency. I also give them a bit of a spray as well, so that I've got wet paint rather than the dry paint. Now, Ron Ransom, when he designed this palette, when I say palette, I mean the colours on the palette, he used the paint straight from the tube. He didn't make a paint box of them, of the colours, like I have. I got this idea with this small tray from Stephen Cronin. The colours are Ron Ransom, they go back decades, and I've been using them ever since. But I've been using them moist, and you get much more intensity, or in other words, you'll get the best out of your student quality paints. But I'm going on to artist quality. I have 2 or 3 half tubes now of Winsor & Newton artist quality, but it's much more expensive than the Jackson's own brand, which I bought 6 of them, and I put them in my paint box. And also last weekend bought this thing, and I see Patrick Greaves has got one by the side of him. It's a palette, if I can open it. It's got a little thumb hole, and it's got these 5 mixing palettes, or spaces, wells. It's very light, it's much lighter than the metal paint box that I normally use. And I've put, these are artist qualities: ultramarine, cobalt blue, Windsor blue, their artist quality, burnt sienna, that's burnt umber, that's Cotman, and I've got alizarin crimson, that's artist. Light red, you don't need artist quality for, it's so saturated, and a bit of water soon gets it out. You have to be careful using that, it's very, very intense. Vermilion, that's Cotman. Yellow ochre, raw sienna, I think they're artist quality. Cadmium yellow, that's artist, that's Jackson's. This one here is Windsor yellow, so that's artist quality. I've got some Hooker's green here, which is Cotman. Some cadmium red, which is a small tube of Winsor & Newton, artist. This is raw umber, which I very rarely use, and some pain grey, which is Cotman. I will be getting an artist quality of that. So I'm not using this for my studio work, I'm using that as my portable palette, or if I want to use the mop, I can use the Daler Rowney. This is a lovely little box, really classy, but this is quite weighty. So there we are. Yak over. So I'm going to wet the paper all over now. Been a long night. We've been the UK elections, and the Tories have been reduced to a minority government. They're the biggest party, but they haven't got an overall majority. So they'll have to do a deal with the Ulster Northern Irish DUP. But I think they are the sort of Irish Tories. Okay, so things are very interesting. So I stayed up fairly late to listen, and I listened on my headphones in bed this morning. But politics are very interesting in the UK at the moment because of this desire for a majority of us to want to renegotiate our stand with Europe. So I'm sure you're aware of it in your various countries. Okay, so I'll put a background. I'm going to use the mop for this one, but I'm going to use the Cotman palette. But I want to just get in the bit of the sky. See how wet that Cotman is, look. So let's go all over it. And we'll add a bit of that cabin red. Look at that, the light red. Look, it's so intense. Okay, so we'll put a clearing storm in. So let's have a bit of, look at that. I mean, that is really, got a nice bit dark bit here. And we'll put a little bit of a weak blue in the background here. So that's the reflection of the sky in the wet. Okay, I'm going to dry that, and then we'll go into the hakes. So take your, or mute your sound. Go. Okay, that'll do. Reclip the paper, which has grown. You don't need to stretch this paper like with tape or anything. Just undo the clip and just go flat. Okay, so I'm going to use on my number 4, and I've got this gorgeous little triple O squirrel. Let's see if you can see them. Okay, these are Renaissance Pro Art squirrel, high quality. It says high quality, highest quality. This is the number 6, highest quality pure squirrel mop brush. As Alan pointed out, these are French polishers mops, but they weren't used to actually do the polishing. They were done to paint the grain in watercolour or beer or whatever, and then apply the polish over that. And unknowing, I know many of you watch his channel, spent much of his life as a sign writer and French polisher. He knows an awful lot. And is a very fine painter, of course. Right, let's put in a bit of background. So we'll just have you've got to make sure there's enough water on this brush, otherwise the got to paint around that figures. Bit of alizarin in there. Put some colour in here as well in a minute. Just a bit of background. Much of this is going to be covered up. And we'll add a bit of colour into that. I tried to do a demo yesterday, but I just couldn't do anything. It just didn't work. You have days like that, so I just scrapped the video. Okay. I want to get in some a bit of burnt umber and a bit of burnt sienna and a bit of Payne's grey. Payne's grey is a great mixer with the umbers and the siennas. Some green. Just yellow, grey, and brown. Sienna, burnt sienna. I really enjoyed using the tiny mop for those thumbnail demos. It was such a lovely joy to behold. Just a bit of dry brush here. Bit of green in there. Pouring with rain, I was going to cook a curry outside tonight, my barbecue. Right, let's go and do some trees now. I'm going to use my little brush for that. So, front lit. Oh. So we won't see any bark or anything in this. But I'm just trying to get these looking a little bit gnarled. There's quite a bit of paint spray in this. Put a bit of ivy on there, I think. Now what I like to do is just to anchor that, a bit of foliage. This brush is really nice. Oh, that'll do. That's not. So I might put some leaves or twigs on this. Well, it'd be creepy, isn't it? Yeah, that'll be fine. Fine line, look. Right, we'll do another couple of these. I'm going to do one in slightly blue. I've done that wrong. Remember, your chunks have got to be big enough to hold the weight of twigs. You know, this is what you're going to watch out for. You don't want two sort of twigs coming out of like I've done there. But I'm going to put some stuff on this. Some, when I say stuff, I mean twigs and leaves from the. So I love autumn and winter. I don't love winter so much as I love the trees in winter, where you can see these skeletons and you can get lost in the things. Right, bit of alizarin in there. holds so much water, this brush. Okay, I'll do this. Let's just keep going with them for a minute. And we'll put another one, a harder one, that smaller one. Get out of it. Try and taper everything. For the time I put some ivy and on this. Okay, and another little one, dark. Okay, I'll get bored with that. So a bit the other side where that all dries. Oh, my wrist is aching. Well, let's just try and keep this bit quite simple. It's such a lovely, delicate little brush. I'd highly recommend it. A lot of sienna in this. A bit warmer. Okay, let's do some. Now, a good trick is to behind that is to put in some blue and alizarin. Give an impression of some trees behind. Okay. I just want to get some dark, a bit more in here. Just wanted to bury those trunks, those lighter trees there. Okay, so let's put in some some nice I'm expecting this brush to do more than perhaps it should. But anyway, this all dries a lot lighter than when it goes on. It might be better with just a bit of green there. Just the grey and the yellow. Just a little bit of detail in there. More detail on this bit of ivy. Got a bit heavy, that is. Okay, that's a bit of foreground now. I think I was struggling a bit with the little brush on that size of tree. Okay, let's get in some keep the foregrounds simple. Bit of yellow or green. Just a bit of sort of grass. Bit of Payne's grey. Get some harder shadow. Right, now, a good bit. We'll put a bit of shadow, not shadow, reflection. Now some of the blue. Right, let's look at these figures. We'll have a bit of the Let's make it a bit bigger here. We'll just take a little bit of that out there. Got a bit carried. A bit of shadow on here. The shadow on. Well, more practice, eh? Well, I can't say my figures are good. I have to do a lot more practice on those. The proportions probably are better, but anyway, let's put it in a mount, and we'll have a look. I'll just move that up a bit. I like my sky. Oh, there we are. Let's put it round. Let's see if you can, or see if I can see it. Oh, there we are. I'm not going to zoom in on it. Oops, it's not my best, but I think it looks okay. My figures, well, they are silhouetted because of the light coming from behind here. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.